What's up? I didn't see you there. Ha ha ha. What's up, everybody? It's Carpo here. I'm here to do another trimming video, but this will be a particular subject related video. I'm getting closer to being done. Just got some nice colas here that I got to trim down. Just a few of them. I'm not complaining about it. It's fun. Not. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing fantastic today. It's raining like hell here, so it's not the nicest day, but I can say that I'm having a pretty nice day myself. Can't speak for the rest of the world, but I guess I had an issue arise today which brought on the subject matter for today's video, which is one of my favorite quotes is from Manly Hall. He says, "Don't let the past ruin the future." It's one of his. I'm going to turn this down. I don't like being interrupted. It's one of his quotes that's, I don't know if he made it up or what, but one of his lectures is called, "Don't let the past ruin the future." And it's been a major point in my life to take that advice and use it and heed it, because my elders have made it very clear that dragging old dramas around with you it suffers. The mind suffers for it, and then the body suffers for it. And so I ran into kind of an issue today, which I guess I don't really have a private life, so I might as well just talk about it. We don't have that much to go on in life as far as family issues. Everybody has their own family issues, right? And my mother and her sisters, which are my aunts, have not spoken in a while. I'm not going to go into the details. It's whatever, their personal deal, their personal drama. They got into some arguments over various things, and so they don't speak. I decided recently that I wanted to get to know my aunt that I never knew. So we got together and we had a barbecue, or ate some chicken, whatever. And my mom and I were discussing it, and we ended up getting into an argument about it. And what it comes down to is my mom and her sisters have their issues that they either will resolve or will not resolve. And it's of no concern of mine, because I don't know. I cannot put myself in there. I can listen to both sides of the stories. I've heard it all, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what's happened in the past, especially not 30 years ago or whatever. Because I know that people change, people learn from their mistakes, but either way, family's family, right? But I have to base my opinions on my experience with people, not others. I've heard people say that certain people are really bad people, and they turn out to be good people, or some people who trust people to be good and turn out to be really bad people. I have to make my own associations, and I forgive and forget. So I've been wronged in the past, and I've had people do things to me, like stealing from me and whatnot, that I forgave and got over and moved forward. But sometimes the issues are much more complex, especially with families. You've got all kinds of different things that happen to kids, especially siblings, when they're young. I remember my brother and I got into an argument many years ago, and we didn't talk for like a year, and it sucked. It was stupid. It was over money. Over like some stupid truck that I owed him money for, or he owed me. I don't even remember. And that's just the point. I don't remember because it didn't matter. But I remember how concerned my mom was always upset about saying my brother and I should make up and make amends. At that point, I never realized, I guess, that she had those same issues with her family. And, so we got in this argument today, and it was, when I walked away, I felt, how sometimes you get that righteous anger when you're arguing your point and you're standing your ground. And I didn't get any of that anger. I didn't get any of that. I felt very collected. I raised my voice, but I didn't make it personal, and I didn't lose my cool because uh, I didn't feel like I was in the wrong. And that's I guess what I'm trying to make is, when you get into an argument and you know that you're saying something wrong, you know you're doing something wrong. It's easy to tell. A person if you debate, argue something with someone, they'll start picking at you personally or getting mad about other things that are irrelevant to the discussion or the topic, or maybe want to leave the room or walk away from the discussion. And I think that's where I got heated, was because I wanted to have the discussion. I wanted to resolve it. That's important to me. I need to resolve issues that I have with people in my personal life. And as far as, the online presence and all that, I could really care less. I mean, we all have spats with people we don't know, or even casual acquaintances. I like to forgive and forget and make up with anybody. I mean, even old Mac, for those who know Mac, I've tried to say, hey man, let's just let shit be, just let it go. But, I'll forgive anybody, because really I have nothing to lose by befriending people. But when it comes to, family, you don't just pick up and leave family, at least, unless they've done something harsh to you. So there I am, stuck in the middle of this age-old quarrel between people that I love. Yeah, there's two aunts and they're both arguing, and my mom are all arguing over separate issues, but I think she feels like the other two are teaming up on her now, but really they haven't talked very much either. Whatever life that they had and whatever issues that they brought forth in their lives are not really relevant at this point anymore. And it's because everyone changes. Like that, my aunt, when I met her, she's telling me about, she believes in reincarnation and past lives and all these things. She was talking about UFOs, and she talked about when she woke up, her awakening years ago, and I was thinking, how cool, back when she knew my mom, neither one of them were really awoken. My mom wasn't really into that kind of stuff either yet, and then gradually she became accustomed. Hanging out with me too much was a bad influence on my mom to become obsessive about aliens and all kinds of conspiracies and stuff, because I remember back in like 96 or something, I'm coming in and I'm like, Mom, did you know they're trying to depopulate the earth? Oh my God, they're trying to kill us all, and all these types of geoengineering and pollutants and fluoride, and I started learning all this stuff. So then I started getting into the spiritual side, but I hit my spiritual kind of, if you want to call it that, my journey at about the same time as like my mom did, I guess, which was much later in life for her. So we're at completely different points. She's told me before, she just never really thought about certain things, until later in life. And I think that's just how our parents were raised. It's not their fault. They lived in a different world. So, I love everybody in my family. I want to know everybody in my family, and I want it to be, and I think that that's important, but it's difficult when people aren't getting along. And I have no real goal of trying to bring anybody back together or change their opinion of each other, because that's not my place, because I don't know the real depth of the issues. I know what they claimed happened, but it doesn't matter to me. These are things that people do, these petty grievances that people have against each other, especially when they're young. But we do grow up eventually, hopefully. And I guess the only reason it's such an issue to me is because I want to see my family happy. So, when we're talking about petty grievances, I guess a question might come up, might arise, which is what is a petty grievance, and what is unforgivable? I know a lot of people out there. I made a few videos about trust issues, and it raised some eyebrows with certain people who disagreed that we're not necessarily all just untrustworthy because of what's happened to us. But I think a lot of what we think, a lot of what we do, as far as how we forgive people and how we treat others, is based on our own securities or insecurities, or what's happened to us in our life. And we all know that, so we are, obviously each programmed in our own lives to figure out what's important and what's not, and what's worth complaining about and what's not. So for example, siblings are having an argument. Sometimes ages pass and you get to the point where, you don't even remember what the original argument was about. And it doesn't even become really about anything at all. But if you look at it from a psychological standpoint, it's distancing. It's separating yourself from relationships. And you see it a lot in people who, I'm not going to play armchair psychologist here. But we all know, certain people just don't build relationships well because they're afraid of being, of either losing someone or being taken advantage of. And that's totally understandable in society. I can respect that. But, to what degree are we going to let the past totally fucking destroy our lives? When it comes to family issues, that's one thing. But think about the larger grievances. There have been ongoing quarrels between families for centuries. And, eventually one generation stops and says, what were we fighting about again here? The old Montagues and the Capulets, that old crap. These are old stories that, archetypes for, the arguments between people, and the way that feuds start out with a purpose, but end up just being a defensive mechanism so we don't have to deal with each other, maybe. I don't know. And I'm not speaking from, the particular situation that I was originally talking about here, because I don't know their situation. And that's one of the things, is trying not to point out, in other words, I'm not, in my mom's situation, I'm not going to say just forgive and just be friends, because if she doesn't want to do that, she doesn't have to. That's totally up to the individual. But it's nice to see that a person really makes an effort and cares, but sometimes I wonder. But I get caught in the middle of it, old feuds. So think, that's just my little situation. We have so many different situations out there. Think about, think about all the feuds between races, where a family won't let another, their child marry someone because of a race, or even worse, religion. I've heard stories about, so many stories of people getting married, and their parents totally, disown them because they married someone out of their own religion, that kind of stuff. And that brings on lots of feuds, and that's one of the aspects to religion that bothers me, the people that take it so far that, won't associate, people aren't worthy if they're not the same, and different reasons for feuds. So sometimes it's about religion, sometimes it's about a different political belief, sometimes it's just about an argument that somebody had and doesn't even remember what it is. I don't know. Oh, sad bud. I don't know how to deal with people that are mad at others, because I don't share that same anger, I don't get mad at the world or at people in general. I just kind of roll my eyes at them. Sometimes you can't just roll your eyes if it's someone you love, that's a totally different story. It makes it even more difficult. Especially when you know that you're in the right, you know that you have a legitimate purpose or reason to do what you're, to feel the way you feel, and to do the things you're doing. And others make you feel guilty because of it for some reason, even if it's non-intentional. And these are the most important repeating patterns that I observe in life, in my view. Just watching people come and go with their various, quirks and things, but it's really important to observe the things that tear people apart the most, the things that really bother people the most. And one of those is finding truth. Some people are just never happy. And another one is finding love, or at least allowing themselves to love family and friends. And it's a tough life for all of us. You know, a lot of times we get screwed over by someone and we start feeling sorry for ourselves. Boo-hoo, poor me. You know, this happened, that happened. Oh no, I had the shittiest month, or the shittiest year, or the shittiest life. But once you move past it and take the bull by the horns, I don't know. Righteous action just seems to come natural. You seem to do the right thing, or at least to my observations. I try to do the right thing. But anyway, enough about all that. Probably getting way off subject there. So take care, everybody, and have a great day.